guys, LV here. As you can see from the title, today we're going to be reviewing a highly requested album today. We are going to be reviewing Ku-chan's 12th studio album, Walk of My Life. To be honest with you guys, I really have been frantic to put my review on this album up here because it seems like this album got a lot of backlash for some reason and I really don't know why. Well, you know what, that's not entirely true. I can understand the reasoning of why. It's just, I feel like it wasn't deserved in a way because while this album does take a big step away from her previous studio efforts, it does give us a really new persona of what Ku-chan is and what she does in her music. But enough about me defending this album. I'll get more into that when I review this, starting right now. Typical of a Koda Kumi album, we get started with an introductory track. To be honest with you guys, I found this to be a really enticing introduction because I really like how in its own way it sets the mood for what's coming ahead amongst this album, since the beat of it is quite consistent. And I love this electronic yet aggressive sound that infiltrates the background here because it really plants the listener with a good image. Well, at least I think so. Just when I thought it couldn't get any better, her vocals are added here. Her vocals in this track are really fantastic because they really add this edgier outlook to the introduction here that really gives it a new sound, even though in a way it is somewhat predicted. I love how she keeps in track with the tune here because again, it makes you dance and I just love that part, especially when she gets here. I don't know, every time I hear that part, I'm just like, eh, like that's what I do every time I hear this song. Either way, despite my silliness here, I did think that this was a really good introduction because it reminds me again of why she's always consistent with her introductions because in a way, they always bring their own flair to them. Ku-chan did a really good job placing this as the album's first full-length track here because it does capture your attention right away. There's really nothing I can truly criticize about this because it does have a lot of factors that I enjoy, such as her singing in low register right here in the beginning, and also to this serene arrangement here that really captures this certain edge to it. In my opinion, I really thought the production for this single was pure magic since it really highlights the emotional value that she placed here, especially when it builds up to this chorus, because while the chorus does in a way sound uneven, that's what makes it sound more realistic to me. While it is a bit unstable, it's something about it that I can't really tire of. So this track is amongst my favorite, even though it's not like a favorite. This song was something else, you guys. I'll admit in the beginning, I wasn't the biggest fan of this song at all, yet I love it now. Sure, it does showcase this weird trait that does come off as a bit overdone, but I kind of like that. Her vocals, as you guys can hear in this song, were the most surprising thing about this song because they tend to stray away from their usual selves. In a way, I did kind of appreciate that difference within her vocal because it does bring light to other aspects of this song, such as the lyrics. From my perspective, the lyrics to this song are very, very personal because they reflect how sometimes the public views Koda Kumi. If you guys are a Koda Kumi fan, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Because when it comes to Koda Kumi, she's not known for talking exactly ladylike, and that seems to be reflected a lot in her interviews and such, which is one of the reasons why her words often get twisted around and get misunderstood by everyone. And I will admit to you guys, in a way that kind of pisses me off, because it seems like Ku can never be herself when it comes to the persona of the audience. But in a way, I'm rather appreciative that she made this into a song because I love how she takes this ball of negative that the public thinks of her and just thrusts it in this chorus right here. Hence, that's why she says, Lippy like a rude girl. I can't understand in a way why some people wouldn't like this song because this song does come off as a bit chaotic. Yet I do love that chaotic approach of this song because that's what makes it fun and really ferocious to me, especially like this chorus, Lippy, Lippy, Lippy like a rude girl. Like, I love that part. Like, I don't know about y'all, but this is my jam. I be listening to this song, I just be grooving every time I hear this song. This was definitely a fun track with its use of drums and electronic influences here. I love how this chorus becomes this really quirky yet fun-filled arrangement that won't be forgotten anytime soon. While it isn't the greatest song out there, it definitely is a breath of fresh air. I do appreciate Ku doing something that's out of her comfort zone. Based off this title alone, I was not expecting a song like this. If anything, I was expecting to get a more urban tune out of this, yet despite that, I still thought Ku-chan showcased a great instrumental here. The beat itself is really hot, and I love how it features this really infectious instrumental that really showcases Ku-chan's bold side, while the English in this song can come off as a bit overdone. I really thought it added a really nice flavor to this song, since it does capture the song's bombastic atmosphere. here. Well, at least to me. Overall, this definitely is a good song to jam to every once in a while. I'll admit this song isn't an ultimate favorite of mine when it comes to this album, yet I do enjoy it all the same. This song became an instant favorite of mine the moment I heard it off YouTube, and it has remained one of my strongest favorites ever since. Most noticeable thing about this song is the undertone of the music itself here, because while it is predictable in some sense, it does have this exotic flair to it that makes me keep coming back to it, especially within the beat itself, because this beat is really sick, and the trumpets that they use in this mid-chorus right here, I was like, oh my god. Despite all those good factors I just addressed, I feel like the only thing that really stands out about this song is the chorus. While the chorus can come off as a bit repetitive, Kuchan has a way with the words that make it pop. I do think it was smart of Avex to promote this song first before the album came out, because the song does have a lot of replayable value based off the different effects that the song showcases, which in my opinion makes Like It one of the ultimate highlights of this album. While I don't dislike the arrangement of this song, I sure as hell wasn't expecting something like this at all. Instead of an urban sound as I'm used to hearing from Koda Kumi, we get this fresh electro funk that brilliantly showcases its presence. I'll admit to you guys, whenever I hear this, I immediately think of how music was back in the day, which in a way was a good throwback of the instrumentation, even though the instrumentation in some ways does showcase this modern sound to it if you really listen for it. So despite what I showcased within my opinion there, I truly thought that this was a fun song that did showcase its party theme perfectly. I noticed this is one of the songs that the Koda Kumi fan base strongly disliked for some reason, which in a way I don't really know. You know what? No, that's not true. I can understand why they wouldn't like it, but this song is such a, well, not necessarily a classic, but it has this really nostalgic feel to it, and I can understand why I guess some people wouldn't like it, but I kind of like that really groovy feel to it for some reason. The only thing I can probably do without in this song is this male rapper that was introduced here. I don't know, in my opinion, he does somewhat bring down the quality of this song, despite his humorous lines, but in a way it does depress me a little bit. Yet despite that bad factor there, I still consider this a nice song that is worth its appeal. I will say that. While I do like this interlude, it's definitely not a favorite of mine. Kuchan's vocals do sound very good in this track, I will admit that, because I can hear traces of the old Ku here, which is quite refreshing in a sense. But other than that, this interlude seems to just lack all traces of originality. Despite what I say there, I still like this track, so I don't want to get that all mixed up. I still really do like this track, despite my disappointment there. I've already reviewed the single in the past, yet even now, there's something about it that's always gonna remain fresh to me. It just has this really distinctive allure that I'll never get tired of. As I've stated before in a previous review, the rapping parts within the verses here are pretty unique and cool, and it does give Ku a rather interesting light when it comes to her vocals. Yet the effect amongst the arrangement here is really what makes the music here really memorable to me. The song really does have its own feel to it, and it's one of the reasons why I can never stop listening to it, because the production within this song is really amazing, and that's what makes Hotel such a great song to jam to. Well, at least to me. The next song is Gimme U. Everyone seems to adore this song, and I can't agree more. I'll admit the lyrics to it are a bit cheesy, but I don't care for it much, because in my opinion, the song itself is a real gem because of its uplifting and danceable attitude, and the snippets of conversation here really does display this remarkable attitude that really does make me always come back to it. I'm not really sure what you guys can make of that opinion right there, because it's really hard to describe my true feelings about this song, because I just have such a positivity toward it. While it definitely isn't one of the best songs amongst this album, I would definitely say it is one of the recommendations I would give you guys on this album. This was a rather bold track from Ku, yet I suppose that's what I love about her. I don't dislike this song, you guys. I love this song. I'll admit in the beginning, I was a bit off-putted by the intensity of her vocals, yet the more I kept listening to it, that's when I realized that's what made her vocal performance all the more intense. They're over the top, of course, yet in a way they're quite powerful all the same, and it definitely fits the aroma that surrounds this song, because I just really love how this song, how it just unravels, especially when we get here, because we get a taste of the intensity by, you just hear Ku, It's just really, really cool, and I always get strangely excited at that part. Another fact I found about this song is that the lyrics to this song are surprisingly sexual, and while that is somewhat predicted in Ku's case, I wasn't expecting it for this song. This is definitely a fun song. I'm really glad that I've grown to love this song, because I remember when I first heard it, I will admit I didn't always harbor the nicest feelings toward it, but I'm really glad that negativity has went away, because for this song, while it isn't my most favorite song amongst this album, I have definitely grown to love this type of loud, in-your-face type of song that really just has this really perplexing aroma around it that's just great to enjoy in any situation. The next song is Money in My Bag, or the twerking song, as my sister likes to call it. I'm finally glad we finally reached the more bombastic part of this album, because while I will admit this song has lost a bit of its flair, I still consider this to be a strong tune with this great urban beat to it. Another thing I really like about this song is that it doesn't try to be anything important. It's just a straight up dance tune, and I really love that about it. The verses are really nice, and I like how Ku's vocals flow all over the tracks, because that's what makes it really addictive to me. I don't care what nobody says about this track. Her English in this song is amazing. Like I said before, this song doesn't try to be anything more than a dance tune, and I appreciate that tremendously. Sure, the chorus is straightforward, yet it's very effective all the same. While people will complain that the song isn't one of her most greatest masterpieces, they can't take away the fact that it does showcase the more familiar sides of Ku that we know and love. This was one of the songs that took this album to a whole new level. Based off the title alone, I had a feeling that I would like this song, yet I was not expecting this much epicness. From what you guys can hear right here, I love how she mixes the uses of rock, dance, and electronica sounds here that add the right amount of fire. Based off the intensity of her vocals, Kuchan does a great job meshing her vocals alongside the beat, while at the same time coming across as very strong. I will admit there isn't much to criticize here. The song itself is quite active, and it has this great party vibe to it, and I love the way it builds up, especially when you get to hear. I love that part, and I love how she actually fuses all these different types of sounds together, and they really do come together for this. Kuchan and her team did a great job for this track, because the beat itself here is quite remarkable, and that, in my opinion, is what makes this song a great song to lose yourself to. This song sounds pretty damn awesome. I will admit, for this song review, I can be a bit biased because Rock Ku has always been one of my most guilty pleasures, yet I can't help but be so here. And while I do consider this to be a rock song, in my opinion, it does have traces of this dance vibe to it, which I think Ku did really well here. Another thing I really like about this song is I like how calm she sounds within the verses right here, and then as the song keeps growing, you hear how she explodes within this chorus right here. And I love how she used that exploding atmosphere with this mind-blowing use of attitude that makes the song really quite addictive in a way, and really quite mesmerizing in a sense as well. The song itself was a real masterpiece, as well as in the lyrics, because I really like the lyrics to the song as well. I really don't understand the hate this song gets, because like I said before, it's really cool how she's all calm in the verses before she starts screaming her butt off within this chorus right here. That is what makes this song fantastic. But despite what everyone else thinks, I'm really glad that I'm able to like this song, because in my opinion, this song was a nice treat, because I like how it adds that extra layer within the production you guys can hear right here. That makes it really nice. There's really nothing I can truly criticize here. Kuchan put her all in this track, and you can easily hear that. I can't help but love this heavy, rockish element that this song incorporates, because that, in my opinion, is what suits this atmosphere of this album in a sense perfectly. In the beginning, I really didn't know what to think of this tune. There's nothing really about it that screams uniqueness, and the melody itself has quite a simple feel, yet the more I kept listening to it, I realized that the beauty of this song is more showcased within the song's lyrics, because in my opinion, I feel that's where the song shines the most. The lyrics here showcase a very personal side of Ku, and I really love that. Like I said before, this song isn't really so impressive when comparing it to the other songs within her discography, but I really love this simple feeling to it. It seems like a lot of people didn't like that part we're hearing right now, but I like that part because I feel like this part is what somewhat gives this song the strength, and it somewhat helps the lyrics latch on, performing this really, what's the right word to say, like, it leaves its mark, in a sense. We just can't have an album without Ku displaying her cutesy side. While it's not that original and doesn't really add anything to the album, I will admit that it does have a good sense of energy to it the more it drags on. And I will admit to you guys, Ku's vocals tend to crack me up in certain parts of the song, especially within the beginning, because in the beginning I was like, what the hell was that? But I thought it was funny. Yet despite those humorous points that I just highlighted, I still wish to a certain extent that this song had a little more impact, especially within the arrangement, because the arrangement, like I said before, it doesn't really bring anything new to us. And I'm just like, every time I hear it, I'm just like, I feel like I heard this somewhere before. But I will admit the chorus isn't all that bad, and I do find myself singing it every once in a while. Because at the end of the day, the aura that this song has is really light and sweet. It's still a good way to end the album on a positive note. We finally reached the album's lone ballad, and I must say that it was well worth the wait. While the song doesn't feature the usual love-filled theme, that doesn't take away the beauty this song possesses. The production, in my opinion, was very simple. Yet I feel that's what makes this song all the more special, because the simpleness that the music has, it really draws the listener into a whole new world, and that's always a trait I'm looking for in a song. Yet the one thing about this song that I love more than anything else is that Ku delivers such an emotional vocal performance here, and that's what, in my opinion, really highlights the intensity that the lyrics display here. I will admit her vocals sound a bit strained here, especially as she ranges higher, yet it's those small imperfections that makes this song all the more special. My only complaint about this song is that I wish this song could have been longer, because this song, in my opinion, it is quite special. Nonetheless, despite my complaints, this was a very simple yet powerful ballad that captures the element of self perfectly. I just can't help but get a little emotional every time I hear this song, because you just can hear that emotion within her voice, and I just can't help but be swept by it. Maybe I'm over dramatizing it, but that's how I honestly feel about it. And I'm really glad that she ended the album on this, because it was a very nice way to see the progress of our beloved Ku-chan. This album is a somewhat bolder version than her previous works, and while it can be messy at times, it does do its job keeping the fun and upbeat vibe to it. And her vocals for this album drastically changed as well, because for this album she seems to focus more on her rapping style rather than her singing, which I will admit in the beginning that did make me a bit surprised. And although I will always be a fan of her singing parts, I will say I didn't really mind her rapping amongst this album. She sounded like she was having a blast on each song, and I can't knock her down for trying something new. Okay, so now I'll show you guys the CD I got. I got the regular CD edition, which I am somewhat still shocked that I got this one, because you guys know when it comes to Koda Kumi, I always get her CD DVD. Always. But in this case, I didn't get this album this time. My father actually got this album for me. I can't take away that gift that he got, so I have the regular CD edition. Here's the front. I like that cover. It's really cute in its simple way. And here's the back. Here's the inside. I like that simple approach there too. And here's the booklet, everyone. I really like that pose she's doing right there. I don't know, every time I see that pose, I'm just like, hashtag work. Every time I see that picture. Really like that picture as well. It's really nice. Really nice picture to end the album with. And yeah. While this album had me absolutely sold, I can't understand how this album wouldn't appeal to everyone, because when you really think about it, this album was more experimental in a sense. Her rapping, change of vocal style, and lack of kawaii songs prove that. She challenged herself a great deal amongst this album, and I will say it has worked well for her in my opinion. She kept it fresh here, and I can appreciate that change in direction. Overall, this was a really cool album that mixed the right amount of rock, urban, and electronica, and I can't wait to see what she does next. So that was my review on Koda Kumi's 12th studio album, Walk of My Life. While the opinions on this album are a bit varied, hopefully everyone out there enjoyed what I had to say amongst this album. Thank you for everyone who requested this video, and like I always say, if anyone has an artist they would like me to review, just leave it in the comments below and I'll be sure to get to it eventually. So until next time, you guys, bye!